Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. This was a game that I played a lot during my childhood. Just in advance, I recorded all this footage from the Steam version of the game and not the GameCube. The only difference between the two is that the 2-player mode is not included in the Steam version. It's tacked on DLC. So the story mode of this game is split into two sections, the hero and dark side. The two campaigns have the same story, but from different perspectives. Let's talk about the hero side first, which starts off with Sonic in a helicopter. For some reason he's being transported and he escapes by ripping a piece off a helicopter and basically using it as a skateboard. And I would be lying if this scene does not start one of the most amazing intros ever. This level is awesome. You start on a skateboard as you shred down the city while you hear one of the most poppin' tunes in gaming. Bejizu. Our first level is with Sonic, which is basically going fast with some occasional platform and enemies to defeat. This is an awesome level, even this truck part, and I'm only pressing down the whole time, but the sense of speed and thrill is really cool and exciting. We have our first boss battle and it's stupidly easy, which leads to a cutscene with our new character, Shadow the Hedgehog. Sonic realizes that the government confused Shadow with him, and that's why he was being held captive in the helicopter. And this is probably one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. They look nothing alike. They don't even sound the same. The only way they get confused Sonic and Shadow is if they're all deaf and blind. Shadow escapes by using the Master Emerald, leaving Sonic behind to be captured by the military again. Now we have a cutscene with Knuckles and Batgirl who are arguing over the Master Emerald.
You just don't know when to give up, do you?
What are you talking about? That emerald's mine.
Eggman comes and tries to steal the Master Emerald until Knuckles shatters it. But we don't get to see it for some reason. But I really want to, because it causes Batgirl to orgasm. Eggman goes like, fine, I didn't even want it anyway. Let's talk about this. Eggman stumbles upon the Master Emerald and it gets shattered right in front of him. This is the Master Emerald. This thing is supposed to have infinite power. Infinite power. Look at infinite power being stripped from his hand. The despair. So the Knuckles stage starts, and the whole point of these stages is to collect the shattered pieces of the Master Emerald. To help you find the emerald, they give you a small radar at the bottom of the screen, and floating computers around the stage that give you hints of where to locate the emerald. However, there are a couple of problems with these stages. Why is Knuckles so fast? It's a tiny area and you're mostly climbing and flying around. Why are you going so fast? Next, these computers, using one of them lowers the amount of points you get when you finish the level. They feel like a waste, since the levels are small enough for one to just travel and find them without any clues anyway. Heck, the radar makes these computers obsolete with how small the maps are. We move on to Tails and we learn why this game has subtitles.
There's no mistake about it. This must be the island. It's a secret military base that's reinforced and super strong.
Well, if you read the subtitles, it says that Tails is going to break Sonic out of prison but gets sidetracked when he defends Amy from Eggman. We do another stupidly easy boss battle against Eggman. Then we start the Tails sections, which are basically controlling a Gundam with Tails in it. This basically plays like a third-person shooter, where you try to lock on and kill as many enemies as possible at the same time, which rewards you with the most raddest word. Tails wreaks havoc on the prison, which allows Amy to find Sonic. Amy now helps Sonic break out of prison and tries to bargain information about Shadow for his hand in marriage.
Did you see it? Where is it now?
If I tell ya, will you marry me?
No way!
I thought I had you this time.
Interesting tactic, Amy. I can't see where it could have gone wrong. Then she talks about the prison room with all the writing, which I thought had some significance to the plot, and the developer said, fuck it, or I'm missing something. We got a stage with Sonic escaping the prison, and it ends with Sonic on this platform, and in the next scene, he's in the forest fighting against Shadow. For some reason, Eggman decided it was a good idea to blow up the island, and we got Sonic again escaping, this time from the forest. Now we move on to the most memorable Knuckles stage, Pumpkin Hill. This stage is great. It's designed much better, being wide and explorable to use Knuckles' climbing and gliding abilities. The best part of this stage, of course, like any Sonic game, is the music.
I
Those trying to approach me and got lit. Asking questions, vanished in a second. I'm walking through.
Eggman then decides to scare the entire world by blowing up part of the moon. But what's truly terrifying is the CGI on the people. The past is a dark and ugly place. You know this game has good music, but anything else with sounds such as voice acting or sound effects are meh at best. But why does this Knuckle level have the audacity to have drop sound effects all of the time? Who thought this was a good idea? Listen to this. Now you're probably wondering, why is Tails driving on a highway in the sky? We're driving on a highway in the sky to find the president and intercept his call with Eggman. We go and break into Eggman's pyramid base. Now, I gotta give them props. A pyramid evil lair sounds fucking awesome. However, the stages inside the pyramid are complete garbage. Sonic's stage inside the pyramid is probably one of the worst Sonic stages ever. It slows down the game by having timers and keys to look for to open the doors. This level is then followed by the worst Knuckles stage. Why is this place so cramped? I could barely glide, climb, or run. This level undermines all of Knuckles' ability, which make him fun to use. Well, I shouldn't say all of them. It is fun to punch enemies with Knuckles. Oh look, a rocket ship shot from a pyramid. With rockets come space levels. And you know, these space levels are actually good. Knuckles has a stage where he's in a huge area in space, and it makes great use of his gliding and climbing abilities. Too bad it's the only stage like this. A battle with Batgirl ends with some sexual tension between the two of them. Knuckles saves Batgirl when she slips, but I bet you're all wondering, why doesn't she just fly? She has a lot of time to open her wings and glide away. But guys, I figured out what the problem is. The problem she couldn't fly is because she's in space. Of course, in space we have no air. We can't glide if we don't have wind resistance, and for wind resistance we need air. See, this game is based on reality and logic. These two animals can't fly in a place with no air. You know, air, oxygen, the thing we need to breathe. Since she doesn't have oxygen, she can't fly in space. It's all logic, guys. Come on. Back in the Ark, Eggman had Amy hostage and captured Sonic and sent him to space where he blows up. Tails defeats Eggman and frees Amy, but Eggman stealthily steals the Chaos Emeralds without anybody seeing. Sonic, however, was able to escape the explosion by using the power of the Chaos Emerald. Then we have one space stage with Sonic, which was really good, and a battle with Shadow. Somehow Sonic was able to make it before the Ark decided to shoot Earth and blows it up. End credits. Now we move to the villain story, and it's pretty much everything that happened but from the villain's point of view. Shadow's part is played like Sonic, Eggman is Tails, and Batgirl is Knuckles. They even have similar stages to their counterpart, so I won't be going into details about their stages because they all have the same problem as their hero counterpart. The villain story starts off with Eggman freeing Shadow, who is supposed to be the government's secret weapon. Is Sonic like the strongest creature in this universe, since they basically made a Sonic clone? Shadow is free and Eggman confuses Shadow with Sonic as well, which I still think is the stupidest thing ever. Shadow does a boss battle just like Sonic. We move on and then we see Eggman scratching his butt, and we're shown some of Shadow's past, where Maria sacrifices herself to save Shadow. In this scene I realized something. Maria says sayonara, Shadow.
Sayonara, Shadow.
And that word means goodbye in Japanese. This is basically how they say hasta la vista, which is Spanish, but they use it in everyday English. I wonder if there's any other examples out there. Eggman goes to the space colony arc where he meets Shadow and he encounters Batgirl. They plan to go to Prison Island to find another Chaos Emerald, then blow up the island. And they still don't give a reason why they blow it up. However, they encounter Amy, which she confuses Shadow with Sonic, but can quickly tell the difference after a little while. Hold on a minute. So Amy confused Shadow with Sonic, but figured out it's not him after closer inspection. Eggman, however, could only deduce that Shadow isn't Sonic because he would not be held in a capsule by the government. Even Sonic was confused when he saw Shadow the first time. Is Amy like the only person who wasn't brain dead in this world? She was able to get the security card to free Sonic from his prison. But knowing this stupid world, She probably walked in with a mustache and a military hat and took the key. Tails intervenes and distracts Eggman, and we move to Batgirl collecting the emeralds. Batgirl gets trapped and Shadow decides to go back and help Rouge escape the base because he got flashbacks of Maria. Eggman then decides to blow up part of the moon as a threat, but it wasn't successful, and they also need the last Chaos Emerald to unleash the cannon's full power, but Tails has it. We did learn that Batgirl is trying to see if Shadow is the ultimate life form, and she's doing this for Jules. Fucking Jules. Rouge might actually be the worst character in this game. Don't get me wrong, every character in this game is cliche or one-dimensional, just look at Amy.
I know, but I'm here to save my hero, Sonic.
But Rouge is worse. She feels like a bootleg Catwoman. I wouldn't be surprised if that's where they got her inspiration from. She also has boob physics. We move on to the space colony arc where Eggman takes Amy hostage and Sonic dies. We also learn about how Shadow might not be the ultimate life form from Batgirl, and that Batgirl is a government spy. But no one cares. Shadow and Sonic have a showdown, and Sonic sounds pretty evil in the intro of his battle.
Alright, Shadow. Time for me to finish this.
The Dark campaigns end with Eggman putting the last emerald in the machine. And the credits. If you thought this would mean they have a sequel, be ready to be disappointed. Or not. Since the third campaign unlocks called The Last Story. The Last Story continues the story where we left off and shows that the space colony arc will fall onto Earth, destroying the planet, which was all planned by Gerald Robotnik for the revenge of his granddaughter Maria, who was killed when the army invaded the colony arc. He is also Dr. Eggman's grandfather, which means Eggman and Maria are related. I wonder if they're like cousins or actual siblings. That'll be interesting to know. I did some research and saw that supposedly the writing in the jail cell that Sonic was trapped in was made by Gerald Robotnik. It's interesting, but nothing really happens with it. They try and stop the space colony arc by using the Master Emerald, which is super tiny now for some reason. This last story arc is just one big mission consisting of tiny missions for each character, and it's not bad. This is really fun. Once that's over, we see Shadow being old Brody and gets the speech from Amy about how people are good and you have to save the planet, and Shadow then goes to the rescue. We have a battle between Shadow and the prototype of the ultimate life form, which is a giant lizard. You beat it, and then you have the second most hyped scene in the game, where Sonic and Shadow turn into Super Sonic and Super Shadow using the power of the Chaos Emerald. This however leads to the very unsatisfying last battle, with the lizard attacking its giant pimples. The game ends with Sonic walking in by himself and Batgirl asking for Shadow. I'm surprised she knew that was Sonic. Probably took a 50-50 chance and winged it. We have a scene where they all talk to each other and Rouge asks Sonic if Shadow was created for revenge. But you know he wasn't, because he was created before Maria died. We also got hypocritical Eggman over here, questioning if his grandfather was trying to kill everyone when he fucked over everyone by destroying part of the moon. So what can you do after you beat this game? You're given a boss rush mode and a kart mode. You know, because Sonic and friends need cars to race for some weird reason. Besides those two, the meat of the post game is going to be the extra missions and the Chaos Garden. Each stage has 4 extra missions and they all follow a very similar formula. Collect 100 rings, find the lost child, beat the game in a time limit, and beat it in hard mode. Hard mode is pretty fun because it puts your skills to the test, but it requires the player to have all the power-ups, which kinda sucks really. Now onto the Chao Garden. Raising the Chao, feeding the Chao, taking them to school, putting them in competitions. If any person had this game, they sunk more hours into the Chao than they did into the main game. In conclusion, is this game good? It's a fun game. It has its flaws and a very stupid plot, but it's fun nonetheless. The Sonic stages are fun. The Knuckles stages are okay. The Tails stages are meh. But overall, it's a fun game, and it might be a little bit of nostalgia hitting me, but I do recommend people play it. It's a very short story, and it's fun. Believe it or not, this game did have a sequel. It was called Shadow the Hedgehog, and it continues right where this game left off. And it also has a stupid plot. Hello my lovely patients, and thank you guys for watching. So let me know what you think of the episode and what you want to see next. You can either put it down in the comments below or send me a tweet. So this is my first diagnosis, so if you want to watch something else, I have a let's play here with me and Attacker Man, or you can subscribe for the next time I release another diagnosis.